Welcome to the Multitaction Showcase tutorial series. In this tutorial, we'll do part 2 of how to create a finger menu. Before we jump into the editor, let's quickly review what we created in the previous tutorial with our finger menu. First of all, when we touch and hold, we get the opening animation and then the menu. You'll notice I've already added in one more menu option called videos, and you'll notice it's a little different to the others. We'll look at that in just a second. Also notice that when we select a picture, each of the images come up, but there's no controls over them. So we can make them big or small, and we can rotate them. And that's okay, but I actually want a bit more control over this. So let's go back into the editor and let's do a couple of things. First, we'll fix the finger menu. And secondly, we'll look at how to use the theme to control these images. So here I am in the Showcase editor, and I'm looking at the content set that we created for the finger menu. And here are the three images that can launch from the menu, and here's my new menu option called videos. Inside of this, you'll notice I have 2 videos that have been placed in the menu system. So you'll notice that the video option in the menu looks a little different to the central icon in the finger menu, and the reason for that is I've created a new bubble type. Recall that the bubble type controls what it looks like when it displays, and what I've done with this one is turned off the background color and turned off the outer ring, which means it looks clean, just the icon inside. So what I also want to do though is add a specific icon from my media library so that you can tell that menu option is really about video. To do that, I need to change the preview image. So you'll see here that it's being generated automatically, but I can use a fixed value, and I'm going to take an icon image from my media library and put that in place. So here's my icon image here. I can click, select, and drag it into the option. Let's close down the media library, save, and now take a quick look back at the application to see what that looks like. Okay, here we are back in the application. Let's launch. And straight away you can see I've got this really nice icon now for videos. So look at the difference between these different bubble types. So in the center here, you can see I've got this almost like a halo around the outside of the bubble on all of the menu options, including the 3 images. But on the video one, which I'm moving here, you'll see that it's really clean, just an icon. This is a really good technique if you want to use something like a brand. And then remember, when you set the bubble type, make sure that you don't allow the system to change the original size of the brand. And then it will show up here nice and clean in your menu option. So the other thing we want to do just to finish this off is put a nicer icon in the center of this finger menu. So let's go ahead and do that now, and also change the bubble type. So here I am back in the editor, and here's the high level bubble that we want to change. So first of all, we need to change the bubble type definition. So here we've got the level 1 that we created. This time I'm going to use the icon version. And again, the only difference is we've turned the outer ring off and the background color. So let's save that. And now let's change the way it looks. So I go back to my media library and select the icon that I want to use, drag and drop that in, simple as that. We've changed how the whole thing looks. So let's go back and check how that looks in the application. And here we go, if I touch and hold. So now I've got a nice icon in the center, the empty showcase icon. I've got my image bubbles around the outside and my nice clean video icon. Okay, so that's looking really good. Now let's go back into the theme and set up the image widget so that we can change the way all of those graphics show up when we touch the menu options. Okay, so I've selected themes from the main menu here. Here's the list of themes, and here's my tutorial app theme. So let's open that. The widget I'm looking for is the image widget. So if I turn off the media library here, so I can see the image viewer widget, and that opens up when I jump into it. Now I can set lots of options here, and remember when I set them in the theme, they'll apply to every image that shows in the application unless I specifically change the settings in the structure. So here in the theme, it will affect everything. So I can change where I have the image, where it launches, what scale it is, how big it is. But I want to just have some control over how long things stay on the screen and what you can do with them once they're there. So the first thing is I don't want them to be able to be rotated. So I have a snap to angle option here, which is called stay upright. Basically what you have is, if you think of it like a compass with 360 degrees, at the different degree points you can set the rotational position. So I could have it so you could just literally rotate it at 90 degrees, 180 and so on. In this case I want it to stay exactly upright so you can't move it. So I've got this one set to 0, so you can't change it to any of the positions, and it will always just jump straight back. Again, as I've mentioned before, I like things to tidy up really quick on the screen. So I have a fast closer, which I've defined, which is just 5 seconds. But it might be that someone wants to be able to close the image down because they wanted to look at a different image. So let's put a toolbar on the image that allows them to close it. And I've got one that I've already set up called the tutorial toolbar close only. Again, think about your naming conventions when you create these things, because it makes it much easier to find them once you're in here. Okay, one last thing, we'll just pop a caption on so that when the image comes up, it has the image name on it. As always, save. Okay, great. Now let's go back to the application and see what effect that's had. Okay, so back in the application, let's launch the finger menu. It just looks exactly as it did before, but this time when I launch one of the images, you'll see straight away it looks a little different. I have a close button up here at the top, and I have a caption or a name at the bottom. If I try and rotate it, it immediately snaps back to staying upright, which is exactly what I wanted. And if I literally don't touch it for 5 seconds, it disappears. So it cleans up nicely after itself. Okay, let's just quickly recap what we did. So we had an existing finger menu that we set in the previous tutorial, and there were 2 things we wanted to change about it. We wanted an icon to look really nice and clean. So we did away with the ring around the outside and the back color, and that was set up in the bubble settings. Then we put actual icons and images in from the media library, and we just dragged and dropped those in. That was easy. Then we want to control the way the images actually worked when they were launched from the menu, and we did that within the theme. So we took the image viewer widget and we actually put settings in there that would affect all the different images. So it wouldn't have mattered which finger menu option we chose, all of those images would display the same way. So that concludes the finger menu part 2 tutorial. Thanks for watching.